here to talk to you about what I promised you. I promised you I would have more vlogs on how I have dealt with things over the years, and here I go. Here's the beginning, here's the start of it. When I was first growing up, when I was just a teenager, I did what most people did. I retaliated, I took strops, I was temperamental little bosom, as my mum would call me. I was a walking time bomb. You didn't know where I was coming or going with you. And it's because I stored all my emotions within my own being. I didn't tell anybody them, I didn't express them, I just stored them and I mulled them over in my head. And I would probably say most teenagers do this, most children do this. Why do they do this? Because they're scared. They're scared of the impact of what it's going to be if they tell someone the truth of how they feel inside. So they store it. Is that a good method? Probably not. In my experience, definitely not. But that's now, as I am now, I believe that. But when you're young, you don't know that. You're just going with what you've got. What did I do after that? Wow. After that, I got frustrated. So the strops got more, the moods got more. I was seen as being very temperamental. I was seen as being a very angry person. And I was. I'm not going to deny it. I stored all these emotions and feelings and thoughts within my own being to the point where I got so frustrated with people around me not listening to me or not understanding what I was saying to them. But I still had to try and control all that anger. I had to still try and control all that feelings and all that thoughts. So I stored them once again. And what happened then? I withdrew. I withdrew away from the people who loved me. I refused to tell them anything. I refused to speak to them. I refused to share my secrets with people. What did that lead to? Arguments, pain, suffering. Why? Does that work? No, that doesn't work. So, what was next? I got to that point of anger where I had to subdue that in some way. I was so miserable inside that I had to find a way of coping with everything that I was feeling. I had to find a way that was going to help me find some sort of happiness. So what did I turn to? Alcohol. Alcohol was my thing when I was about 16, 17, 18, and as the years got on, the worse it became, because I found that when I was drinking alcohol, I could loosen up, I could relax, I could have fun. Not realizing that that really wasn't working. All it was doing was subsidizing the pain. It was subsidizing the anger. Did I worry about that? No, I just continued. So I continued to party more. I was out partying most weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday too, if I could get away with it. And I would go out during the week as well on a Wednesday and hook up with all my mates or my boyfriends at the time and have fun that way. And it was always including drink. Alcohol was a big thing in my life for a very long time. And it escalated over the years because I felt that that was a thing that was helping me. I felt at that time that alcohol was a thing that was helping me forget about my pain and suffering. It was the thing that was my crutch in life. I was 40 years old before I stopped that. So that's how long I used alcohol as a crutch, a coping mechanism to help me rid myself of the pain. However, during that process, still didn't find that happiness that I was searching for. I still didn't find that buzz of life that I was looking for. I still didn't find anything through alcohol except for how to party. What I learned about that was that people liked the party me. People enjoyed that party animal in me. But nobody liked the emotional part of me. Nobody liked the sincere part of me. Nobody liked that seriousness of me. That deep, deep person who does talk and does express things, very deep, insecure emotions that needs to be let out every now and again. And it always happened when I was extremely drunk, when I had that one drink too much, and then people were like, whoa, not having her, and they would walk away from me. It took me a long time to realise that, so I continued to do it. But halfway through this process, I still wasn't getting it. I got involved with a guy who had only been known for a month. I ran away from home and moved in with him after a month of only knowing him. Again, this was my coping mechanism, running away. Did that really well for a very long time. And we got married only after 8 months knowing each other. And he was always having fun. He was always having fun. And I was always miserable. Even though I was drinking, even though I was partying, I still didn't have the edge that he had. And I thought, what was it that's missing from my life that he does that I don't do? Ah, drugs. Okay, so we'll try that. I still needed to have that. I was still searching for that happiness and couldn't find it. So I went down that avenue of drugs. And that did give me that high initially, and it was partying even harder. I was motivated even more. But what I didn't realize was that when you're taking drugs, you have the high, real high, and then you slam down to the ground with such a bolt that it hurts you, really hurts you, and you're miserable, and you can't get off the sofa, and you feel just crap, and you lose weight rapidly, and then you're constantly looking for that happiness again. So you'll do anything pretty much. At least that's my understanding of it, but that was my next coping mechanism. Recreational drugs. Wow. Never thought I'd see myself going down that route, but I did. And it was a hard one. And then when I hit 30, that's when my life really turned around and I deleted the things from my life. I knew that this was a time that I had to turn it around. So up until I was 30 years old, I went through one extreme to the next extreme to the next extreme, and my peak was taking recreational drugs on top of prescribed medication from my doctor, on top of taking alcohol. So I went to real extreme measures to try and find this happiness that I was searching for. So it started off not talking. And then it progressed into just thinking and trying to sort it out inside my own head. That didn't work. I got frustrated, so I had outbursts of anger. That didn't work. What's next? Okay, rage comes in. That doesn't work. So temper tantrums, trying to control and manipulate situations. That doesn't work. So run away. That's the next stage. If nothing's working for you, you run away. These are all negative formations, people. They do not work for you. Not really. You can try them all you like. Do the work? No. No. That is self-sabotage at its finest that leads to self-destruction at its finest. Why? All because I turned away from my faith. I turned away from Jesus. I turned away from God. All because someone told me that I wasn't capable of becoming a nun. They laughed at me. I was only, 13 years old, 14, maybe 15 years old when that happened. Wow. Ouch. That was a sore one. So the anger just progressed. And after everything I'd been through, I wasn't prepared to have that. So I just got angry. Then I hit 30 after my final suicide attempt, and having that visitation from Archangel Michael telling me that it was time to turn it all around, that enough was enough. Wow, if that wasn't a message from God, then I don't know, people. That was God's way of reaching out to me in a formation that I could understand that enough was enough, and that I was on a route of self-sabotage and self-destruction, and I very nearly succeeded in destroying my entire life, all due to not being able to confront my fears, not being able to speak about my thoughts and speak about my emotions, and express myself in such a formation that people could understand. So from that aspect, it's like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? And I decided to learn. I decided to turn my life around, and I did. And I decided to listen, and I decided to learn, and I decided to do something with my life. So that was the next stage for me. I went to college, and I channeled my energy into something that was going to be progressive, that was going to be productive. I was going to use my brain in a different formation rather than party, party, party. Yeah, I was still drinking alcohol, still taking a good glass of wine every day, sometimes a good bottle of wine every day. But I wasn't partying like what I was because I was focused on my work. However, there was always that times where I wasn't coping and I got stressed out. The first thing I did was grab a bottle, drink whatever it was that came next to my hand, and it was always alcohol. Alcohol was my biggest crutch in life. And I still did the withdrawal at times, and I still did the nut talking at times, and I still had the outbursts of anger. My friends used to say I had ginger moments. I laugh about it now. It wasn't funny at the time, but I laugh about it now. However, it progressed. And when I got to that stage of the week before my 40th birthday. So the first turnaround was a week before my 30th birthday. Wow. Next milestone, a week before my 40th birthday, and I was now told it was time to give up the drink. I had given up the drugs by this time. I'd given up the red meat by this time. I'd given up smoking by this time. I'd given up caffeine this time. I'd given up everything except for alcohol. And when I decided to stop things, it was a power of the mind. I just decided today is the day that I no longer require that from my life. Power of thought, people. Wow. So the next stage was basically that I ended up giving up alcohol. And from that day on, I haven't looked back. I've now restored my faith in Jesus. I've now restored my faith in God. I'm right there. The Holy Trinity. The power of three. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Wow. What a turnaround. What a journey. From going back to that days where I was angry and I was sabotaging by pushing away the people who loved me. Because I personally felt that they did not understand what I was trying to tell them. How do I deal with things now? I confront them head on. I say what I've got to say. If people don't like what I've got to say, then I leave it with them and I walk away. Because at the end of the day, all I'm doing is torturing that soul by pushing them for answers if they do not understand who I am, what I am, or where I'm coming from. Nobody can. So my advice to anybody who is on this roller coaster journey called life, that is feeling as if they're getting sabotaged right, left and centre, have a look in the mirror, sweetheart. The chances are you're doing it to yourself. What can you do differently to make your life better? And my personal experiences, take the bull by the horns, jump on board and ride the waves. Stop being judgmental. Judging others' people is not the way forward. Reconnecting with your own spirit. That's the whole thing about the power of three. Everybody wants to know what spirit actually is. It's each and every single one of us. Every single one of us has got a spirit. And it's all part of Jesus and God. We all are God's children. And that's my personal message. I've went on this roller coaster journey of having Jesus in my life, to me turning my back on it because of things that happened to me in my life. And then I had to take responsibility for that. I had to take responsibility for my actions. I had to take responsibility for my thoughts. I had to take responsibility for my emotional statuses. I had to take responsibility for my spirit. It's a about me connecting with my spirit self, which is connecting with Jesus, which is connecting with God. That's my personal belief system, and this is what's worked for me. How you choose to live your life is exactly your choice, and how I choose to live mine is exactly mine. So it's finding compassion, it's finding empathy, and it's realizing that while we judge others, we're actually judging ourselves. Wow, that in itself is a revelation. And for me, I've found happiness. I've found tranquility. I've found that inner peace. I can shine like a diamond. And it's time. It's time for me to do that. I've got Christ within me. I have God surrounding me, supporting me constantly, walking by my side, loving me forever, no matter what I do and no matter what I say. Forgiving each other, loving each other, being with each other is the most important thing in life. Continuing on the journey. Much love to you all. Bye bye.